My name is Todd, and welcome to another game dev stream from Demergo Studios. Today we are going to be talking about world building, and more specifically, this game we've been working on over the last couple of live streams that I've been working on here is it has been dubbed Gopher Game here like this, and we've been talking a lot about the story lately. But today we want to dig in a little bit more with the world, in particular the characters that are going to be part of this world, and kind of maybe some of the backstory of the world, kind of the style that we want this world to be in. We haven't even talked a lot about this stuff. It's just kind of this fuzzy image in my mind right now. But today we're going to hopefully get a little bit more concrete about that and talk about it. To review where we have been, we have talked a lot about story, kind of the opening act, the opening scene, the emotion that I want to convey. We have our two primary characters, the grandpa who is reaching his 100th birthday, and then his grandson who is out to get all the family together to celebrate. This Grandpa Gopher is like head of the tribe, and it's this big landmark. Sorry, I said 100th birthday. We changed it to the 80th birthday. A little bit more reasonable, like timeline-wise for the son or the grandson, excuse me, who's a certain age, I think. Anyways, it's just minor details that can be changed whenever we want, but it's got to be realistic, and that's what we're going for. Like reasonable, excuse me. We're talking about talking gophers here. There's realism kind of went out the window at that point. So we're going to talk about some of the characters that populate. So we start off as a child in this game, and we do kind of like snapshots of the various birthdays of the grandpa, and where you are and where he is, and kind of the family is at that point in time. And it kind of goes through his various birthdays leading up to this grand 80th birthday party that they're going to be celebrating. It's a big milestone. The tribe, no tribal leaders ever reached the age of 80, and it's this huge milestone. So they're excited to celebrate, and they want to get the whole extended family together, and it's going to be your job to go get them, to go find them. And it's a simple story. I'm not trying to go overly complex. There is some conflict in that we want one of the extended family members wants to become the tribe leader, and so they're going to attempt to take over that position at this birthday party. So there is some conflict in that sense, in that we are creating conflict. But one of the other things I want to do is kind of do like sub-stories in each world. I want to have multiple worlds that you go to, like ice worlds and like winter wonderland type worlds, island worlds, various different worlds, different environments that the player gets to interact with on their mobile device, and each world has its own little sub-story that you're following along in order to get to the grand story. I don't want to convolute too much. I don't want the player to forget about the primary story, but at the same time, I want them to have unique experiences in each world. I want them to feel that feeling of some completion at the end of each world, because I'm thinking about each world as being a paid, like a 99 cents thing or something paid. And so I want them to have that sense of completion at the end of each world, while also still furthering a larger story. So somewhat episodic, you could argue. But yeah, anyway, so let's talk a little about the world itself and the characters, because we want to do some world building today. So the world itself, I've always envisioned kind of that old style, almost like Legend of Zelda style world, where not necessarily swords and shields, but more primitive, almost like the Ewok style world. Very primitive. Houses are built out of wood logs and maybe grass or leaf roofs. I don't want to say Stone Age style, like Flintstone style. But those types of contraptions made, like the Flintstone style contraptions, where they don't seem like they'd ever actually work in real life, but they look like they would work. That kind of cool use whatever they have available type of materials to make it work, you know. But I've always envisioned kind of that style, that more foresty style too, for this particular village. That's not how all of them are going to be, but most of them will be, you know, the overall world itself will be primitive, but the each world, each subworld, each subregion, biome, will have a different materials that the houses and the villages will be made out of, but predominantly primitive. Not stupid primitive, but you know, we're not talking cell phones and laptops and such. Um, so, but on the one side, I talked about in my last episode maybe doing something fun with like wheelchair races or something like that in the beginning. You know, just as I don't say like mini games, but to help in these little snapshots, these interactive snapshot portions. So there's obviously there's intelligence to build wheelchairs, and so there's intelligence, just primitive tooling, primitive materials. Well, primitive materials, I guess. Wood is wood, you know, it's still used today. It's, you know, are we still primitive because we use wood? I guess. I don't know. Anyways, that's a totally different discussion we're not getting into. Anyways, so we're talking about world building. So that's kind of my ideas. So let's get in, let's start writing some of this stuff down and keeping track of it so that I don't decide, you know, 6 streams later, oh, wait, I envisioned it as lasers and astronauts and space exploration. And let's get it written down so we have it handy. We're going to go back over to our Dropbox paper. I've decided instead of showing my screen to make this just a full screen windowed version this time, easier to read. So let's create a new doc here. Let's call it environment maybe, or world. World. Actually, we don't. Not world, but maybe that world works. And then we'll have different environments. Maybe that's a good way to separate it out. So world itself. Let's do some backstory ideas here. So first off, we want to do the people that populate this world are. Let's do descriptions of. Let's just stick it general. So people. So first off, the whole world is the highest beings in this world are going to be gophers. Gophers are highest being. I mean, not like there isn't like religion and deities and stuff like that, but like the highest physical, you know, the highest on the food chain, you know, type of thing, like where humans are right now. Top of the food chain. Gophers are the highest beings in the world. Or maybe the better way is gophers are most intelligent. No, that's bad, because I kind of want to do other creatures. Like I want to do maybe it's like turtles. You know, turtles walking around. Different creatures, not just gophers. Kind of like this whole. I don't want to say all tons of animals, but just make it a little more diverse than just gophers. So so maybe animals. Animals are beings in the world, with gophers being the most plentiful and are areas of adventure. Next is structural style is primitive structures, but ingenious use of, or maybe better, primitive materials, but ingenious use of those materials. Examples would be log houses with leaf roofs, comma, wheelchairs made out of maybe like sticks, like sticks slash wood and various natural materials. So really, the predominant materials are nature-based. Nature-based. So we're not dealing with like plastics and various stuff like that. Although that would make an interesting game. If we did a game where you just had discarded junk that you could assemble stuff together. There isn't necessarily going to be crafting in this game. It's just I'm describing it. The world primitive materials, but ingenious use of those materials. So log houses with leaf roofs, wheelchairs made out of sticks with various predominant materials are nature based. So we'll do citizens. Or maybe I'll just do people. People are intelligent and often humorous. Because a game like this, you gotta have some humorous dialogue. So, intelligent, often humorous, and clever. But actually now, our intelligent beings, we'll just stick with that for now. People are intelligent beings. We'll go back to everything is handmade. It's kind of important. Handmade, or like they can use like pulleys and various stuff like that, but there's no circular saws or drills or other non like electric tools. Everything is handmade. No tools. Let's do candles slash fires light the world. Candles, fireflies. Flies. Maybe that would be kind of fun, is that fireflies are intelligent beings, but they're like the lights of the world, like maybe at night. Because I was thinking about this the other day. Maybe doing an actual day-night system would be kind of interesting. And various things become active at night versus during the day. But maybe like fireflies are maybe citizens. Maybe fireflies are like the taxis of the world at night. So you hail a firefly to come and walk you through the neighborhood or whatever at night. Who knows? That's an interesting concept. Fireflies are the taxis. Night. That's just an interesting idea. Actually, I'm gonna put this. Yeah, that's fine for now. People are intelligent. Fireflies are taxis of the world. And this is really how we just go about working. Just start thinking of ideas and writing them down and seeing what clicks, what works, what doesn't work. Based on kind of a feeling. People are intelligent beings. I know that seems kind of strange to have that there, but as opposed to, and maybe not people, maybe that's a bad way. Gophers slash animals. Yeah, let's just go with animals. Animals are all. When I say animals, I guess fireflies would be more like bugs and insects and stuff like that. But work with big here. We're just being imaginative. But it's interesting because, well, why not? Why not? We could have all animals be intelligent. Because I was thinking about having, like scorpions and stuff like that try to harm you as you venture around. Why can't they be intelligent too? They're just mean. I don't know. Fireflies are taxis of the world. It's a concept. Let's start talking about let's stop with that for right now. I've got some stuff down. Let's add it to our Demergo Studios Gophers. What? Okay. Oh, okay, let's go here. That's strange. Alright, let's go back. I'm trying this new Dropbox paper application set up in the browser. And maybe that's what's causing my issues. I guess there's only one folder. I didn't really know we created one folder. Go figure, right? Add the folder. Okay, it's in. All right, let's create another folder. We're gonna call this in. What world is this? This is what's the name of this town? This area. Well, for that we're gonna go look up random name generator. Fantasy names, sure, that looks good. All right, let's see if I can do. With paper. One second while I quickly. I did not do one for Chrome. Apologies. Second. There we go. And there we go. All right, so we got some random town names. Norton, Peterswood, Marlton. That's not too bad, Marlton. Rose Lake. That's kind of a cool name. Let's generate some more. Dumbarton. Mossley. It's not bad. Let's start with that right now. The land of Mossley. Yeah, why not? Let's do one more though. Let's see if there's a better one. Rivermouth, Orkney, Norfolk, Middlesbrough. These aren't as good as the name generator I found. Shipton, Penshaw, maybe like Mossborough or something like that. Mossborough. I don't even know if that's correct. Hold on, let's look. Yeah, I thought I was wrong. Mossborough. You can even put a dash in if you want. Alright, so we're in the town of Mossborough. And the reason I chose Mossborough is that I want this to be a very green and lush village. So let's start environment. Mossborough, let's start with this. Environment. H1. Alright. So what's the environment going to be like? We'll start with some colors. Lots of nature colors. So we're talking greens, browns, and Yellows, orange. Well, orange. That's more fall colors. Yellows are fine. Because leaves can be yellow and stuff like that. But lots of browns and greens. Very good accented colors. We will have like different clothing material and stuff like that that stand out, but pretty much predominantly greens and browns because the houses will be made out of wood that won't be. Maybe they'll have bark on them, maybe not. I was kind of thinking unbark, but leaves. But we can have leaves like yellow, reds, orange. So that's kind of what I'm going for, more nature colors. Lots of nature colors. We're talking dirt paths, dirt paths, stone paths around the more traveled areas. We'll have a market. We're getting more specifics, but why not? We'll have a market area. We'll have a couple. We'll have market, historical house, or maybe this is where we're kind of getting some characters, but we'll just kind of keep it general here. I can't. I'm just stuck right now. I'm brain fart on what else, and just stop and think about what it looks like in my head. Wood houses with roof. Main Street area, and this is the market. The market will include like maybe a fish stand, like fresh fish stand, fruit and veggie. Wow, I can't even spell. Fruits and I totally can't spell. This is what happens when I do stream late at night. Vegetables. I'm a night person, but not when it comes to spelling. Fruit, vegetables stand. We'll have a well in the middle of the market. Or maybe not in the middle of the market, but on Main Street it will be. Water well. Well, I would like to also do a windmill, like an old style windmill. And that's one of those things I do want to have. Baked breads, stand, or like maybe just a bakery in general, actually. Maybe that would be better. Bakery is part of the market, or near the market. Something like that. Fish, vegetables. I don't want to overdo too much because we'll do some fish meat stand. Fruit and vegetables. Dairy. No, that's fine. So okay, so the question is, I guess not all animals because some fish are caught. Maybe we'll do this instead. We'll do nuts, like fruits, vegetables, and nuts. Maybe that's what we'll definitely 3 stands. Maybe these will be all Oh, nuts. I got the insert working again. I don't know why it does this. Fruit stand, vegetables. Alright, good. Bakery, water well, a windmill. Maybe that could be, yeah, that's going to be a little out of town, I think. Not like super far out of town, but slightly out of town. So what we're going to do is there's going to be basically the town area, and there's going to be area outside of the town. Like it's still part of the town, but it's not. It's not the main area where people live. Maybe it's got the crops and stuff like that. Fruit, vegetable stands, bakery. What else would be there? Water. So I'm just kind of thinking through the necessities right now. Maybe clothing. Clothing. I'm not saying all of these are going to be. I'm just trying to make a giant list right now so I can select and choose which ones I want. Clothing, water well, windmill. Slightly out of town. Maybe a broken down house. To create some mystery and stuff like that. Maybe a haunted house. I don't know, or maybe they're one and the same. Haunted or ghost stories. What else would we find outside of town? Obviously, like fields, like crop fields. That would be out there. Woods. Obviously, there'd be woods and maybe just empty fields. I don't know. That's kind of the idea, though. I'm gonna say no. So there are lots of. This is kind of the idea of it, though. Hopefully, you're kind of getting the picture. I might start drawing it here. I'm a terrible drawer, so I'm not certain I'm going to get there. I'm trying to describe what I'm seeing. Lots of like wood fence posts around. Lines. I'm just trying to describe all the objects I'm envisioning in my head. Yeah, I'd say that's good for now. Let's get on to some characters. This is where I really enjoy characters. Creating some characters. This one. Alrighty, so we already kind of have a little bit of a character thing started, but I'm going to bring it back into this. Mossboro. Character profiles. I've already got some stuff started. Yes, we do. That's fine. Some character profiles have already been started. We're going to do HTs for those. Add to folder, Demergo. Player. So descriptions of the player. Well, the player is the player, right? Young, ambitious, adventurous. And the reason I'm making these descriptions down is not because that's necessarily how the player's going to react, like the actual players playing the game, but how the player's going to look. I want to style them in a certain way. Young, ambitious, adventuresome. Simple clothing, maybe. Young, ambitious, adventuresome, strong-willed. Yeah. That's for the player to decide, quite honestly. Strong-willed. I'm making some progress here. I am just getting a little tired. I'm not sure why. Grandpa's a tribe leader, so he's obviously old, wise, a little bit slower. Obviously he's old, but like slow on decisions, patient, um, gives lots of advice to willing listeners. Is a good listener. And maybe that's one of the frustrating things is he's a good listener, but may not always give advice immediately. Good listener, but not always give advice. So maybe that's a frustrating part. He's a good listener, and he's smart, and he's wise, but he doesn't always say. He just listens to you sometimes, and then you're like, well, what would you like me to do? And he's like, doesn't necessarily tell you what to do. And maybe he will give you advice later on if you come back to him, but not always. Young, ambitious, adventuresome, strong-willed at times, struggles between helping Grandpa and friends. So there's a direct conflict right there. Loves to win or loves to be supportive, and this is one of the choices I want to make in the interactive. A player's choice, which is, it kind of goes with the above. They're very similar. So what we'll actually do is we'll make that kind of sub. No, there. Because winning, the reason I'm struggling with this is because, so one of the ideas I had in the last thing was that you have to choose between when a wheelchair race, pushing your grandpa around in a wheelchair, in his old broken rickety wheelchair, or pushing your neighbor around, the historian, in his fancy super fast wheelchair. And obviously the historian's going to win because he gets the nicer wheelchair. So you have to choose between winning and being supportive of your grandpa. And that ultimately will unlock more backstory for the player. Kind of a general idea. Grandma. She obviously too is very patient. That's why, I think it's just more of an older person thing. Patient, very helpful and supportive. Grandpa and you. She is dutiful. And what do I mean by that? Well, when she commits to a task, she finishes it. That type of an idea. She's loyal. Maybe that's a good way. And these are really good ones to describe kind of both grandparents. Both grandparents, in my opinion, are very similar. As two married people get older and older and grow closer together, they become more alike. And so that's why I'm kind of, these two characters are very similar, and their attitudes and their opinions different, but still similar. Grandpa and you, more pushy to get Grandpa to respond right away. Maybe he's a good teaser. Good teaser slash plays jokes. Not always happy about grandpa's jokes slash teasing. I'm going to leave it off at there. Mr. Wilde, the tribe historian. He is obviously old. I like the idea of maybe having him like a monocle. You know, that's really specific at this point, but that's kind of how I envisioned him as a monocle. A monocle. Where's a monocle? A monocle always talking about the history of the tribe. What else? Loves to compete in the annual usually and always usually wins. What else? Always in his wheelchair. Sure, that's fine. Usually hangs around the market area. So instead of having like so a lot of games do like a pub or what's the classic name for it? How do I forget the classic name? It's in like every RPG ever invented. I don't even know. But I don't remember at this time. But anyways, so I'm going to make, instead of having like that pub that it's like on the tip of my tongue. Instead of having that common area where you go and meet folks and talk to folks, we're going to have that same common area, but we're going to have it outside. We're going to have like a park area. So the environment, so water well, park / common area for people to enjoy / hang out with. And a lot of this comes back to, I just enjoy being outside personally for myself. Where it comes to also personal experience is I was in Greenville a long time ago, and they have this beautiful downtown park area where literally that's where everyone goes to hang out, is this downtown park area. And it is beautiful. What is it called? I don't even remember at this time, but it's beautiful. It's so much fun to walk around and just hang out there. Kind of like San Francisco, too. I was into San Francisco not too long ago again, and they have lots of parks where people just go and hang out. In fact, we saw, last time I was there, we were in a park, and some people brought their own ping pong table and set up ping pong. They were playing ping pong in the middle of the park, you know. I guess that's just how they roll out there in San Francisco. Ping pong's fun, though. I do that ping pong. So yeah, so just common park area, maybe with like a water fountain in it, stuff like that. You say, well, they don't have water. Well, it can be a primitive water fountain-ish thing. I don't. They do have running water, so you know, we'll the fountain, and you know, maybe there'll be something cool about this fountain. Like there'll be a secret staircase under the fountain after you drain it, like every cliched video game has that has a water fountain. Kind of like the Indiana Jones. I was watching that movie not too long ago. Not Raiders of the Lost Ark, but it was the one with the Nazis. I can't remember. No, it was Raiders of the Lost Ark. No, not of the Ark. It was of the Temple. I'm gonna stop now. But anyways, they got that cool staircase when Sean Connery sits in the chair and it pushes it back, and then the staircase kind of comes down. Yeah, really cool. Or in Deep Space Nine, the the same staircase that comes through in one of the Bajoran temples, or where it's on Bajor, and it happens. I think that's the one. Am I thinking of Enterprise? I honestly don't know. It could be Enterprise in the Tellurian, or Tellurian. It's too late. I should stop quoting TV show references right now. Usually hangs around market area. Usually hangs around market area slash area. I mean, that's kind of the guy is. He's not necessarily grouchy. He just likes to spit off lots of facts and history. Mr. Wilde. Let's talk about another character, and I think with this I might wrap it up because I'm starting to get really tired. Another character is I want to have the town mayor. You say, wait a second. There's a tribal leader and a town mayor. You're right. So I can't do a town mayor. But why not? Why can't I? Town mayor. It's my game, my world. Why can't I have a town mayor? Town mayor. So his name is going to be Mr. Random name generator comes back to mind. Oh no, let's do it based on nature. So Mr. Woods. No. Yeah, why not? We'll do some Mr. I want to do it kind of. Mr. Wilde is kind of like environment, but maybe it won't. Mr. Stone. We need Mr. Stone, Mr. Wilde. Mr. Wilde will be our town mayor. I like that better. And then Mr. Stone will be our tribe historian. And I am intentionally going after environment references where history stone. I'm intentionally doing that. Because I think it might help the player remember names better. Mr. Wilde is the town mayor. He is eccentric, or he is hard-nosed, like by the book. By the book, trying to get, his entire goal will be maybe to try and get a trade, try to get the town established as a trading route. Yeah, maybe that'll be his whole goal, trying to get trade established. By the book, stringent about permits, public projects, and conduct in public. This sounds like some other mayor you might know. It possibly might be related to famous TV show with two amazing female lead actresses. It that Netflix revived. Anyways, continuing on. Trying to get the town established as trading routes. So that'll be kind of his goal during the game. So you always hear him talking about that. He carries a cane around for looks. Wears a top hat. Townspeople, he is the joke of the town. He's the joke of the town, but not in, more in a, oh, that's typical, you know. So that's Mr. Wilde. We'll have Mrs. Leaf. Why not? She will be the baker. Town baker. Baker. And you know what? We'll do something like that. Town mayor. And owner of maybe the clothing shop. Because that's why he's trying to get the trade routes, is so that he can export his products. And that's why no one else really cares, because the other products are basic. Town baker, she is sweet and kind, but is strict about. But she's got that attitude of, she's sweet, she's kind, oh, welcome, come into my store, look whatever you want. But then she's eyeing you, making sure you're not getting into mischief. She's strict about no mischief. And I probably spelled that wrong, but whatever. Sweet and kind, does not like mischief. Does not like mischief. Like mischief. Careful about customers not taking things. And if you do, you can go take an item, you know, tap on it to take it, and she'll look at you. And if you start to move away a little bit, she'll ask you to pay for that, and then you can like run away and steal it if you want. And then maybe every time you walk by or stand up, that she'll just close down or something like that, so you can't get any more from her or something like that. Be kind of interesting. Care about customers not taking money. Start cares about customers not taking things. Caretaker of the common area gardens. So maybe you'll see her out, you know, maybe see her out watering the gardens or something at various times. She wears a hat with a flower in it. Which is how you identify her. Hat with the flower in it. Maybe has a flowery scarf on too. Or maybe she wears a yellow scarf. Yellow scarf? I don't know. I don't really when I get close to it. But I do like the wears a hat with like the flowery hat almost idea. Just I want our characters to be easily identifiable. This is Mrs. Flower will be her name instead of Mrs. Leaf, because that's kind of boring. Mrs. Flowers. Or maybe Miss Flowers. Mrs. Flowers. Oops, we'll do Miss Flowers. Miss Flowers, alright, that looks good. She's not married. That's kind of the point. And yes, there is married, because we have a grandma and grandpa. Alright, so I think that's where I'm going to leave off for today. I'm getting kind of tired. I'm starting to lose my creative thought process. It's starting to die down. I'll probably revisit this and change a lot of it later. But we'll pick up after this. I want to add a couple more characters. I think I want to do, obviously I need to do someone that manages the fruits and vegetables stand. Maybe one that manages the nuts. Mr. Nuts manages the nut stand. He's kind of crazy and wonky, and all I can think of is a picture of the crazy eye from Five Goes West when I watched as a kid. That kind of nuts. Fruit and vegetable stand. Maybe Mr. Gardener or something like that. I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, someone to do. We already have the clothing guy. Someone who runs the windmill. And then we need some people for the managing the crop fields. And then just some more random characters. But we're going to keep working on this. Keep going with this. So thanks for watching. Sorry, it's a little dull and boring. Getting a little tired here at the end, but game development isn't all fun and excitement and creating awesome graphics, and there's a lot of story, a lot of thought process that needs to go into it. A lot of this type of work where we're just fleshing out what we've thought of up to this point, and then continuing to flesh it out. Thanks for watching, and glad that you could watch another live stream here from Demergo Studios about world building. We'll pick this up next time and continue building out Mossboro and see where that goes. Thanks.